Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. My thanks to Haggerty's Music Works. My thanks to the incomparable Johnny Hastings behind the camera giving us the peace sign. I am so excited about this week's episode, as I am every week. You may have noticed I'm kind of a hat nerd, and this guy's a hat nerd, and I told him to bring his best hat to challenge me, and wow, did he bring it hardcore. This show is almost going to turn into a fashion show here today, but we're going to do that later. We have, in addition to the Hagstrom over in the corner, eye candy, we have a Rhodes piano, which, Johnny, will this be for sale at some point?
Yeah, I think so.
It might be. Anyway, it's being worked on. Nobody's going to play the Rhodes piano today. Don't worry about it. So, without further ado, my guest, Mr. Chris Huisenga. It is nice to have you on the show finally.
It's so good to be here. Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while.
We have been talking about it.
I'm happy that we can make it happen.
And we had a little time before the show started, before we got the camera going, and I mentioned that I've almost seen you play, but I haven't. I've watched you on video and stuff. I know you can play and sing. But anyway, I'm super excited. So why don't you just go ahead and tell us about you?
So my name is Chris Huisenga. I'm from
My apologies, right there, right off the bat.
That's okay, man. It's a hard one, honestly.
Well,
like, nobody gets it right. So I'm from Sturgis originally, and I've been living in the hills for quite a long time, pretty much my whole life. I've lived various other places, but either way, the whole time that I've been, growing up and working towards being a grown-up, I've been kind of writing songs and trying to make something that I enjoy and that says exactly how I feel. So as a songwriter, I think that's why you do it, is just to get that idea out. And so that's what I've been doing the whole time, and it's been really fun, like, getting to connect with people when you're playing live, and just even watching it go from, when I started playing around here, I had one song, and I kept playing open mics and stuff until I had more songs, and then I released an album, and now I'm kind of able to fly on my own a little bit, and it's good. Yeah.
So before we get to the other questions, when you say you had one song, it was one original song?
Yeah.
And then you had some covers to fill in.
No, I didn't really.
Just one song.
No, I didn't really play covers. Yeah, I still don't really play a lot of covers. I think
that's confidence to go in with one song.
Well, I mean, I think the thing about it is that, like, I don't know. I have this weird mentality about covers that, like, somebody else already wrote it.
Right.
And so I feel like I would rather write something that's me than play more cover songs. And people love listening to covers. And
sure.
That's huge, but to me that's just kind of not really like my thing. Like I think that it's more important to be true to yourself and be creative than to just learn a bunch of cover songs.
Well, that's perfectly valid. I agree with you. But back to the early days, did you play an hour of one song?
No.
Like I did the remix or the reggae? Now the reggae version. Or?
No, I didn't play at all. I didn't have gigs before I felt like I was confident with the material that
you went to open mics, kept honing your chops.
Yeah,
okay,
I kept
gotcha.
writing songs until I had enough original songs.
Now I understand.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's again, it's. I don't think I said this earlier, but it's nothing against like cover bands or artists.
Right.
I mean, there's people out there that absolutely crush cover songs, but that's just kind of not my thing.
Right. Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do this as a living or a side hustle, you have to get people to your shows.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Most people do that with covers, but it's certainly not the only way.
Yeah.
So tell us about your early. Can you remember when you wanted to play guitar?
I didn't really start with guitar, actually. I started on drums.
Oh, all right.
And when I was a kid, I can remember the exact moment that I was like, I want to play music for a living. Or just, like, music is my thing. And it was, like in when you're in elementary school and the music class makes you play the recorder. Everybody has to play recorder.
I went to a little country school that was slightly different, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, growing up in Sturgis, like
sure.
I think it was 5th grade or something, our music teacher was part of the program was to play recorder. And so obviously there's a bunch of kids that's not their thing.
Right.
And so there were a lot of like really discordant like times with that.
Sure.
But the moment that I realized that I wanted to play music and that I wanted music to be a part of my life was when like everybody in the music class played the same note on recorder and it was right.
Wow.
And it just hit in such a way that it was like it gave me goosebumps. It's still giving me goosebumps right now.
Wow.
Just thinking about, exactly when everybody was in tune.
Right.
And everybody was together on that moment.
And that one guy in the back crossed the note.
Yeah.
On his way to the wrong note. Well, you were like, wow, this is beautiful.
And then the next note obviously was absolute garbage.
Sure.
But like...
Yeah. For one brief second.
For 1 second.
You found your drug.
It was harmony.
I got
you. And it was... perfect, and it was exactly everybody working together to make it happen. And I think that's like what music is all about.
Right.
Like if you're playing by yourself, it's all about like you and the guitar or whatever instrument you're playing, making it work. If you're playing with a band, it's all about all of those guys hitting the right note together. And I think that the crowd, like in that moment I was the spectator.
Sure.
And I just took it away and was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Little 12-year-old kid, but still, that was when I realized I was like, I want this always.
Yeah. Awesome. I like that story. So you go home and there's a drum kit in the basement or something.
No, unfortunately, no. We started building one when I was a kid, but actually, there was an old guitar in my house that my great-grandma, who's been dead for a long time now, she bought this old guitar at a auction or something, and she bought it for like $1.
Right.
And it was like, to her, it was, I think it's a direct quote, she said, "This is the best day ever," when she got that guitar for $1. Like, it was an old like, it was just this old, we still have it someplace. It's a relic now. I should probably buy it for a lot more than that, but
right.
It was this old guitar that she got, and when I was a kid, I used to sit around and I would lay on the ground and put it on my chest,
right,
and I would just like hit a single string
or
something and let it vibrate through me, and I thought it was really cool. And when I was messing around with it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of potential here. There's so many sounds that I can make with this.
Sure.
And I like drums more growing up, but guitar, I guess, just kind of like gravitated towards me from when I was just a little guy.
I am absolute every show I love. I love my own show. Do you remember how many strings were on this guitar that your grandma bought? Did it have all 6?
It was a 6-string, but I think it only had 5.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked, because you bought it at an auction. Did it have a case?
No case.
Just came home with a guitar for $1 and said, "This is the best day ever.
This is the best day
Here
ever."
You go. Did she ever play it?
No. She died well before I think anybody really played it.
Learned how to play it.
Yeah, we had it for some reason. Like, my grandma didn't want it, so she gave it to my mom. And so
what made it the best day ever? Did she buy it for a soup spoon, or?
I have no idea.
Really?
I don't know why it was the best day ever for her, but she really loved it, and honestly, it was the best day ever for me.
Right.
Really, because that was like the other defining moment, was sitting down with this guitar and realizing, like, wow, there's so much potential. I can create a lot of different stuff with this, and that's really exciting to me. So,
wow.
Yeah, between the recorder and that old junker guitar, that was...
So you had that guitar. What was your first kind of sort of real guitar?
My first guitar actually was bought here at Haggerty's. It's Samick.
Okay.
is a black Samick. I
Mhm.
don't know what the model is, but
Might have been a Greg Bennett series, because
yeah,
most
it
of
was.
them are.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And it was like a slim body. I still have it.
Okay.
I don't play it much, but it sounds great.
Mhm.
And so that was like the first real guitar. My mom got that for me for a Christmas
Sure.
one year after I'd been playing this old junker guitar.
Sure. The 5-string best day ever guitar.
For about a year. And she was like, well, obviously he wants to play guitar.
Right.
So I'll get him a decent one. And
Mhm.
that was the first one. And kind of from there, I just kind of went crazy after that. As my mom showed me 3 chords,
Mhm.
E, C, and A.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yeah, and still to this day, those are the 3 chords that I obviously like always revert back to.
Right.
If you listen to my music, that's a constant like triad that I play. But she showed me those 3 chords, and she was trying to kind of like play with me, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks before I was just way past it.
Right.
You know, I had a ton of free time.
Right.
So
Is that guitar acoustic electric? Some of them are, some of them aren't.
yeah, yep.
So this was the guitar you took with your one song to the open mics and stuff,
yeah.
honing your chops. And
Yeah,
everything.
that was the
Okay.
original guitar that I wrote. I mean, I wrote a lot of great songs that, you know, other people think they're great songs. I don't really remember how to play them anymore.
Right.
But I wrote a lot of songs on that guitar.
Right.
That was even more than like this one.
This one. And we're going to get to this
Yeah.
one and this one. Let's take a moment and have a fashion show, because you're super excited. I'm super excited. Because I got to compete. I am wearing my Star of the West kind of open road sets, and I call it the wedding hat. Still got the hat. Ha, ha, ha.
The wedding hat.
On to you, Mr. Chris Huisenga. What are you wearing today?
So this is it's a Dusty's original, and I look terrible with not wearing it, but this is from a wonderful lady named Dusty Kirk, and if you search Dusty's originals on Facebook, she's got her whole hat library on there. And so she makes these custom hats that are just absolutely killer. So this is called the Gambler, and I don't even think I modified it. But she does it all custom. You choose like what material you want it made out of. She rolls the brim herself.
Mhm.
She chooses the band, or you choose the band and the like flourish and everything like that.
Right.
And yeah, so it's just a really great hat, and I haven't actually wore it out anywhere before this.
Thank you.
This is it.
For making the debut.
I thought that it was fitting that we could do it here, you know. on
I
our
like
show.
it. I love it,
it's
actually.
such a wonderful
Dusty's
hat.
custom hats.
Dusty's original.
Dusty's original
Yeah.
hats
Yep,
for a lot of your hat needs.
that's right.
Yes.
Or, I mean, any of them, really.
Right. In Sturgis, South Dakota.
She's in Sturgis.
Do we
yep.
know if she buys hat blanks? We're getting way far afield now, but
If she buys what?
hat blanks?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Right.
I think she makes them all just like
Oh.
straight up.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
She's no joke.
Yeah,
knows what
the
she's
real
doing.
deal.
Yeah.
Dusty Kirk. We need to talk about guitars now, don't
Let's
we?
talk about guitars.
All right. Which one do you want to talk about first?
I mean, this one, I think.
Okay.
is-
Do you need me to hold that one while we talk about
Do you
this
want to hold this one?
I
Yeah,
can
of
hold
course.
that
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here, let me take this down.
All right.
There we go.
Awesome. Hi, how are you?
She's a sweet girl.
She is. Yeah.
Treat her right.
I will.
So this is my Taylor 416 CE. Bought also here. I think I've actually not bought any guitars anywhere besides here
Really?
at Haggerty's.
Well,
yeah.
that'll happen. Sure. The
Yeah.
Haggerty's, once again, is the nation's #1 independent tailor retailer.
They're
Still don't know
killing
what
it.
that means, but they're very proud of it.
I think it's a good trophy.
Right.
You know.
I like it. Yeah.
But I love this guitar. I played through every single guitar in their Taylor room, and this is the one that felt really good.
Right.
And I was lucky because it wasn't the most expensive.
Do we have a cedar top, Chris?
I think it is.
I think it
Actually,
is too.
Yeah. I'm
We
pretty
love
sure
our
it-
cedar tops here on Old Faithful.
Yes. This is a good guitar. For sure. It's written a lot of good songs too.
Right.
It's just like that old Samick.
So we had our Samick Black acoustic electric Greg Bennett guitar, and it was working pretty good. Did we come in looking for a new guitar the day we bought this, or?
Yeah. I mean, it's the Samick Black is a really great guitar, but the pickups are not amazing, which I could have had changed out, I guess. But it was a slim body, so it just doesn't quite have the depth.
Right.
And this guitar is. It seems like it has, when I played it at first, and it still does to this day, seems like it has like the depth of a Dreadnought, but it's not.
Right.
So it just is really, really warm feeling, especially for a Taylor. They're usually super bright.
Right.
And this guitar doesn't really have as much of that. You know, obviously I have to tweak some stuff.
Right.
This is just a really great guitar for what I've been doing, which is just, you know, if you want to pull it out in your living room and write a song, and maybe it's a good one, then this is what I've been using so far. And it sounds great at gigs too. It's I mean, people seem to really enjoy this guitar, and I really like it as well. The neck is great too. That rosewood is
awesome.
Fantastic.
Is that a rosewood? And almost, I hate to argue with you, it almost like
I think it's ebony actually.
I think it is too, an ebony fretboard.
Yeah, it's fast.
And a rosewood back and sides.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. It's killer.
It really is. What brand and gauge of strings do you use?
I think on this one I have Elixir 1152 or 53.
Playing the telephone cables, attaboy.
Yeah, I try to keep it really heavy on the low end.
Right.
Because I have such a heavy hand.
Okay.
I've been playing acoustic forever. And so I like it to be a little lighter on the high end.
Right.
Just because if I'm playing like a 3-hour gig, I don't want my hand to just be totally shredded by the end of it. So it's a great guitar that I have nothing bad to say about it.
Right. Well, you pull out a Taylor and you just kind of talk about how good it is, and then you're kind of done talking about it. If you haven't dropped it or stepped on it or played it in a rainstorm in the cornfield or anything like that.
Well, that's the one drawback with Taylors, is that you have to keep them humidified.
You do have
really
to keep them humidified. Yes.
Even with this one, I've had lapses in humidifying that don't seem to make a huge difference. And maybe I'll eat those words later if I get a crack in the body or something. Johnny's like, yeah, I know. But I don't know. I haven't really struggled with this one at all. It's pretty nice. I've had one setup on it.
It's truly awesome. Let's get on to this, because we need to talk about this right here.
That's a great guitar.
It is.
And I've kind of named it myself. It's a written 335.
Okay.
So it's pretty much all the same as a Gibson 335, but it's built by our own Mr. Paul Ritten.
Wow.
Who lives here in the Black Hills.
Another custom-made item here on Old Faithful.
Yeah, he's an amazing luthier.
Right.
I watched him build this he started with the body on this. And I saw the body when it was totally unpainted. He had it on his workbench. I was up there to have my guitar worked on this one. And I was like, dang, that's a sweet guitar. And so I watched him actually like build this step by step as we went, just with various visits and stuff. And one day he called me up and was like, hey, dude, do you want this guitar? And I was like, of course I do. Like, I love that guitar. And so, he built this all from hand. He's an insane luthier. I mean, he knows the ins and outs and all the tricks. He's been doing it for like 30 years.
Right.
And so, like, the nut on this guitar is made from a deer antler that he shot. On his property.
So it's essentially a bone nut. Yeah. Hand-carved bone nut.
Yeah, the neck is all wood that he sourced from his property.
Oh my, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really like, if you just see it, it's a cool guitar, but when you know the story behind it, it's really an impressive piece. And
so what is the neck made out of? Do we know?
I want to say that it's maple.
Okay.
But judging by where he lives and like the surroundings, it might be pine.
Well, there.
So I'm not really sure.
I'm not much of an arborist, but it looks more like maple than pine. And he lives in the hills. He definitely could have a maple tree or two. What is the top?
The top is... Honestly, I couldn't tell.
Okay, all right. Do we know if it's 335 construction with a center block in the middle? Yeah. Or is it more like a casino?
Yeah, no, it's 335.
Okay.
When I talked to him, I said I've been dying to get my hands on a 335 because I have an older guitar that I bought here as well at Haggerty's that is a Epiphone 345.
Sure.
And so that was kind of the style that I really liked, and he saw that and was like, dude, I'm building a guitar that's kind of like that, but way better. And so I was like, sweet, I wanna see it. You know? And this is what he came out with, and it's so gorgeous, but it sounds way better than it looks, in my opinion.
We're about to find out about that. Tell us about these pickups, because these are not standard humbuckers.
Yeah, so these are 2 noise-canceling P90s.
Okay.
So it kind of sounds more like a Gretsch than a Gibson, which I'm actually a huge fan of. I don't play a lot of Gretches, but this guitar, for what I use it for, which is clean stuff in my solo recordings and my Chris Huisenga music.
Right.
It sounds killer on the front, on the bridge pickup or the neck pickup, and then it gets really, really dirty on the bridge pickup. So I can use that with the band. Kettle Black is my band.
Sure.
And so when I need to like get really dirty and super loud, I can do that too. So this is like just the most versatile, best sounding, super easy to play guitar that I have. And so that's why I brought it here.
Awesome. You say it sounds like a Gretsch. Now I want to run downstairs and get you a delay pedal.
I mean,
so
we could
play some rockabilly.
We could play some rock.
Do you play any rockabilly?
I'm sure I could whip something up.
We probably better keep on the truck in here. Anything more we need to talk about? Have you done anything to this guitar?
No, I haven't. I just take it to Paul, the guy that built it, if I need any work done on it.
Sure.
And I haven't had anything yet. I might see if we can strengthen the bridge a little bit, or the truss rod.
Okay.
Tad.
Yeah.
But other than that, like
2 volume, 2 tone.
Yep.
A 3-way switch.
Yep.
Everything you need.
Yeah. The only thing that's different with this guitar and a Gibson is that the pickup switch is actually horizontal instead of vertical.
Okay.
So that way, like if you're like really rocking,
right,
you don't accidentally hit it and knock it down.
Okay.
Which is actually really great.
Right.
For me, that's something that I struggle with, especially with my Stratocaster.
Sure.
I always push it back to the to the far.
Suddenly you're playing on the bridge.
Yeah, and it sounds like garbage.
Right.
And I'm like, why? And then I have to reach down and change it. And so that's kind of another like Paul written little quirk that he does, is he puts them in horizontal, and it's actually kind of a game changer.
Right.
For me, like I don't think I'll buy any more electric guitars from Gibson or Fender. I'll just get them from him.
You won't buy anything more at Haggerty's?
Well, maybe. Maybe one.
So to recap, Dusty's original hats.
Yes.
You can look them up online probably.
Yep. She's got it all rocking up.
Paul written guitars.
Paul written guitars.
Can we look him up on the internet?
No, he's old school. You just gotta catch him at the Loud American on like a Wednesday night.
Catch him at the Loud American on a Wednesday night in your Dusty's original hat. Or you can get a hold of this guy at the contact information he's about to give us.
That's right. So it's Chris Huisenga. You can just catch me on Facebook and Instagram. Both of them I think are like / Chris Huisenga Music.
Okay.
So it's Huisenga.
Get it figured out, sure.
Music, and then that's it.
Look like the guy who looks like the 6th member of the Black Crowes. Click on him.
Jeez, man, that's pretty nice. I don't know if I can do that.
Remember my sponsorship? Do we have anything else to talk about? I think we're pretty good.
I don't think so.
Okay. Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC, large, round, and square bale. 515-0858. Matthew Lee from Instagram says to change your strings. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Huisenga.
I've been around this old town a time or two, and I probably will be again, 'cause I've still got family who walks these old streets, and probably still a couple friends. But I've got my own orbit, you know. The time gives us the distance to grow. The pen of time writes our sonnets. I will be yours if you will be mine. Some winter night I will see you, my homecoming comets. Some of us circle out past the Milky Way, and others turn around at the moon. You don't have to leave, it's okay if you wanna stay. The rest of us will be around soon. The rest of us will be around soon. But I have got my own orbit, you know. The time gives us the distance to grow. The pen of time writes our sonnets. I will be yours if you will be mine. Some winter night I will see you, my homecoming comets. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's a wrap.